Now, a major legal battle is brewing between the government and some of the world's biggest messaging platforms. An industry body representing WhatsApp, Google and others has challenged the new SIM binding mandate, calling it ultra-vires and an overreach of telecom regulation. With enforcement just a day away, the standoff could determine how far India can go in reshaping the architecture of global messaging apps. From tomorrow, SIM binding is mandatory for all telecom operators. This means messaging platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram and Signal will not work on devices if they're not linked to an active SIM card. The government says SIM binding is necessary to curb cyber fraud, country and digital scams. From the 1st of March, messaging apps must ensure that user accounts remain linked to an active SIM, and if the SIM becomes inactive, the app may stop functioning. For more on this, we're joined by Aishwarya Patil. Aishwarya, take us through the new rules, the implementation, how serious are they about 1st of March, and the kind of pushback they're potentially seeing.
Well, 28th Feb technically is the deadline for all of these applications such as WhatsApp, RTI, Snapchat, ShareChat, Josh. These are just some of the applications, messaging applications that India uses. They're all supposed to be complying with the SIM binding norms from 28th Feb, that is tomorrow. In fact, in a recent press conference, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has made it clear that he will not be pushing the deadline, and that means all of these applications will have to comply. Now, when they do comply, what does that mean? What really happens for users like you and me? The app services stop if the registered SIM is not installed or is not inside your particular device that you're using. And that has to be connected to some of these applications, of course, the registered mobile number that you have been using so far. Mandatory SIM binding for messaging applications. So all of these applications will need mandatory SIM binding from tomorrow onwards. The app offering web access have been asked to enforce a periodic logout. So if you and I are using WhatsApp web, every 6 hours we will have to log out and re-log in. That's the new norm as far as SIM binding rules are concerned. And in 120 days, which is just a couple of days from now, by March 28th, all of these applications will have to submit a report as to what changes have been done and whether these SIM binding rules have been complied with or not. As far as the other side of the table is concerned, this is all, of course, from the ministry side and from the DOT side, these are the compliance rules that have been told to them. But as far as one of the associations, I was speaking to one of our sources who has said that they have time and again pushed back on the SIM binding rules, saying that these rules do not apply. The Telecom Act only applies to players like Jio, Airtel, some of these phone companies and SIM companies, but they don't apply to OTTs or over-the-top applications such as WhatsApp, Google, Telegram, and so on and so forth. So a body representing them has gone on to share a document, in fact, which says that they claim that the government or the DOT is using a law meant for phone companies to control these applications, and they're calling this ultra bias, is what I learned from one of our sources, meaning that the government is acting beyond its legal powers. So here's a battle brewing between two sides. One is the messaging applications stating their stand, and the other side, the government saying that there will be no pushing of this particular deadline of Feb 28. So let's see what happens and whether we do have to log in or log out.
Aishwarya, thank you for that and for taking us through all the details of really what's happening there with this issue.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.